Hello, my friends, and welcome to our premiere episode of The Corner. I'm your host, Herschel J. Grangent Jr., aka Herschel Jr., the voice. Voice actor, writer, producer, director, photographer, whatever you need me to be on any given day. Now, I'm fighting a little cold right now, but there was no way I was going to miss today because I'm beyond excited to be here with you guys. When I say that this right here is a dream come true, you have no idea. So why do we call this show The Corner, you ask? Well, throughout history, some of the best advice and knowledge has been dispensed to young men standing on a corner. Sounds a little crazy, but think about it. Whether it's a paisan teaching a young fella the family business, or OG giving some relationship advice to a young blood, many lessons have been learned in this casual, uninhibited setting. So what we did was move the corner inside, metaphorically speaking. It's going to be some of the same heartfelt advice and life lessons in a casual setting to help young men, and hell, even old dudes like me, become better men. We're talking mentally, physically, financially, romantically, and in so many other ways, under the guidance of a carefully selected group of subject matter experts. But we definitely want the ladies to tune in too, because I know there's somebody they can pass this information on to. My production team did the damn thing on this one, and I can't wait to get started. So shit, let's do it. Everybody stop what you're doing and meet me on the corner. All right, and welcome back to the corner. Now, it goes without saying that one of the hardest things to do in life is start over, to just stop where you are and begin again from scratch. But sometimes, due to exterior professional changes or internal personal changes, it's necessary. My daddy always told me that no matter where you are in life, there comes a point where you just have to regroup, start again. Now, today's guest was faced with just that. Something inside of him was just screaming at him, telling him it was time for a change, and he listened. Eventually, he was able to move on through it, and he wrote a book about his experience. Join me in welcoming the Corner's very first guest and author of the book, Pushing Restart, Mr. Michael Maceo.
Thank you.
How you doing, sir?
Appreciate that, Herschel. That was a good introduction, man.
Well, thank you, Dan.
Thank
I'm
you
here
so
for
much.
you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to start with an excerpt from the book. Now, you know, I'm knocking on 50. I can't see. So,
Stop it.
so I'm going to read this little excerpt here, and then we're going to talk about it.
All right, great.
It says, what do you do now? Now that your life as you knew it is on its last legs, in your heart, and you're feeling like a completely different you altogether. What do you do when your friends are looking at you like you've lost your mind? Your colleagues are gossiping about you, and your spouse is giving you the side eye, wondering who you are after all this time. This is where I found myself, and although it's definitely a moment many would, could, and often do get lost in and possibly never recover from, I found strength in this moment. I found confidence in the uncertainty of a future that I could be my entire whole self in. I found peace in a destiny painted with purpose and on purpose. I was able to push restart on my life as I knew it, and you can too. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Now, tell us what led you to that point.
Pain. Just straight pain. I realized that there was more to life than offer. Have you ever found yourself being successful in what you seek for, and then when you get there, you're still disappointed?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's where I was at.
Okay, so
I kept running into this wall. And the wall was, there's more to life, and I didn't know how to get over it. And I just kind of gave up, and I stopped. I took a moment, I paused and said, wait a minute, enough is enough. I've had success this, success that, and I ran into this space of, I think I can do this a different way this time.
okay.
And that's what started this roller coaster ride.
What exactly was going on at that point in time in your life?
Everything was going terribly at the same time. Everything was going well.
Okay.
You know, it's amazing that I started businesses, established businesses that were very successful. I took a business from zero in less than 18 months, established over 6 to 7 figures.
Okay.
So that's financially, I understood how to create income. You know, I'm from the street. You talk about the corner. I'm an ex-drug dealer. You know, a lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
I was in the streets. And I like to tell that story because I want people to understand that because of who you once was, don't define who you futurely want to be, or presently want to be, for that matter.
Exactly.
And so that stirred up me pushing restart, but I wanted to push restart in a totally different framework of mine.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely have dealt with that in my own life. A few years ago, I saw myself just in the same rut of a job that I've been in for about 9 years, and decided to step out. Me and my spouse went out and decided we were going to do something totally different. And like you said, you know, people giving us the side eye and saying,
"Oh, brother,
y'all
this
sure?
thing,
Y'all crazy? What's wrong with y'all?" So yeah, so I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
Now, in your book, you talk about growing up in foster care and how that helped you learn that you could talk to anyone. You develop what you call like a chameleon-like lifestyle. Now, it was that ability that helped you realize that you could help people. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I lived in so many different homes. I stayed in different from white to black to brown. You know, different religions. I stayed in a Hindu home. I stayed in a I stayed in a Baptist home. I stayed in a home that was holiest and thou. And I had a lot of experience, even the Mormons, believe it or not.
Really? Wow.
I was in board detentions, and so I met Catholic priests who taught me how to pray. I had a lot of spiritual experiences, and so for me to be stuck in one and getting around that wasn't normal for me. That was very out of the box for me. My norm was getting into a space, finding out the space, and being present on where you are. And my life literally changed from when I became an adult. I used the thing that I thought was a bad thing from not having a stable home as a childhood. I transitioned into this new way of life, and I tell you, it enhanced how I dealt with people. I dealt with people with compassion. I was consistent with understanding their pain, because all I knew was pain, you know. But learning how to take my pain and use it to fuel me to move forward was always my secret weapon.
Okay, and tell us about when you first went on to passing that ability on to others, when you first realized you could help people.
Yeah, it actually happened organically. You know, I just felt like, how can I help such and such? You know, like you see somebody do something. Like, for example, I remember when I first started driving a car, I got to use this example because everybody knows
that.
You know, so I was always, you know, jumping in people's cars and kind of stealing them. I was a kid. So we was trying to get from one space in life to another space. I'm 14 years old. And I jumped in this one car one time. I'll never forget this. It's a true story. I jumped in the car, and it was a stick. And I'm in this car like, I'm 14 years old. You know, we bad. I was a terrible kid. So I jump in the car trying to steal the car, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I put the car in reverse, didn't know it was reverse, and I drove it all the way to where I need to go. But in
reverse.
Exactly.
That's kind of symbolic in itself. You know?
You caught it. That taught me something. Use what you know. And so I used my skill of knowing how to be on my toes as a kid, and I used it when I got into the drug game. The reason why I talk about that, because I want people to understand that that doesn't have to define who you are. You know, I have a good friend named Stormy Wells, and I want to bring her up. She was actually used to be a stripper, and now she's making multi-millions of dollars, developing people. Women Hold Your Hand. And that actually, from her mentoring me and pouring it to me, mentored me to get in enough space as a man and say, what can I do to help more men? What can I do to reach out and be the best version of myself as a man? And that's the journey, kind of how I started the book. Even if you're reading the very first part of the book, I talk about testimony of a man that may be 35-year-old with 2 kids. And I talk about that because it's so important and sensitive, because when people going through transition, especially having a female in your life and not having a female in your life, that pain of being by yourself. He got 2 beautiful twin kids. Imagine if that was you and that was the last time you had opportunity to, deal with life. How do I handle this space that I'm in? Exactly. So it's tough to talk about it, in this setting, but reality is people are hurting.
Well, this is it's a safe space, man. If you feel the need to spit it out there, just put it out there.
And I'm working through it as this camera's on me. But the beautiful part about what we're understanding is I found out in my transition that there was a few tools that we could use to help transition people. And if I could share those, I would love to.
Yes,
man.
Please.
So I want to talk about a little bit how to raise your energy. One of the things that we find ourselves is we get stuck a lot of times in a place where we just want to go from A to B, right? And so what do we do when we want to feel good? What's one of the main things everybody usually uses? Music, right? So we'll put some good music on, and we'll get to dancing, and it'll put us in a different state of being. Let's stay together.
Okay, I know we're gonna get a show today.
You get in the mood. See, that just changed the whole vibe. Yeah. I ain't even know the words of the song, but the melody, the vibration, right?
Exactly.
It changed state of the energy. Even the people in the background were dancing.
You got my producer back there doing her thing. Right?
Here's the reality. See, when we get ourselves in a different state, we're able to move out of a negative space or a space that's not benefiting us.
Say that.
So one of the things that raised my frequency is I start listening to music. Okay. Then I start singing. Then I start hearing myself sing. Then it changed my framework again. I saw myself getting into another space. That also began to say, so I started realizing the way I think, and I caught it. I said, oh, I found the gold mine. So when I realized how I think transitions to me to another place in life, I figured out how I push restart by the way I think.
Okay.
How a man thinks allows a man to go to another level in who he is. And that's a powerful way to transition.
That is true. Very true. I like that. Now, Michael, you said you had something you wanted to read to us from the back of your book.
Yeah, I love to talk about affirmations. What we say specifically on a daily basis to ourselves is important. You know, what are you speaking into your world? And if you don't pay attention to that, you know, it doesn't bring any value to your time. You know, you want to maximize your time that you have. And I want to read this affirmation, if that's okay for your audience. And
I'm looking forward to it already.
And it's a simple one that you can read on a daily basis. And it says, I am not my body nor my mind. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Every single day, I will expand my life in every single way. In my body, in my being, in my balance, and in my business. Every single day, I have the opportunity to expand and be the best version of myself. As I push this day, I will push this day with rest. I will see ultimately clear. I will produce clarity in my mind, in my being, in my heart, and in my soul. Every single day, I will see myself as I am, clearly. I will tell the truth to myself as often as possible, and I will continue to be all that I call myself to be as I pursue everything that I see in my heart. Every dream, every purpose that I have, this is my day, and I'm grateful that I'm here in it. Salah.
Bro, you gave me a chill. That was beautiful.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Pleasure. Meditation is a key. I think the last statement, if I could give one, is starve your distractions and start feeding your focus. When you starve your distractions and you start feeding your focus, where your focus goes, awareness grows. And when your focus goes and your awareness grows, there's another tool that's hidden behind there. The last quote, Nikola Tesla said that energy, frequency, and vibrations are the secret of the universe. And if I tap into those secrets, energy, frequency, and vibration, and follow those, I realize there's a lot more value that I have that I left on the table if I just maximize that time. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And thank you for joining us today. That's going to be all for us. If you want to check out Pushing Restart by Mr. Michael Maceo, where can they get the book from? You
can just Google online right now, Pushing Restart. You'll find us on YouTube, and you'll find us on Amazon.com. You can order the book, and you can get in contact with us very easy.
Okay. And also, if they want to get in touch with you on social media, what are some of your social media handles? My name
Michael_Maceo on Instagram, or just put Pushing Restart, and we should come up as well.
All right. Thank you. And again, thank you. This is our premiere episode, and I think it went really well. Just be sure to check us out next time, all right? On The Corner, I'm your host, Herschel Grangent Jr., a.k.a. Herschel Jr. the Voice. Love y'all. Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you. Pleasure. Pleasure.
Okay, so Michael's going to show us some balancing poses to help us get our chi centered. So,
some zen going on. All right, cool.
So talk to us.
As many you can do, like raise your left leg up. Your left leg up, center. Yep, everyone hold that up, and then put your hands out. See that? Look at that. Look at that balance. All right. Another one is switch to your right leg and just do the number 4. Make number 4. Put it over your kneecap and then stretch your hands out as well. That's a good one in the morning to do.
This was never my strong point, all right?
That's hard.
That's what.
How this is.
How about that?
The goal is
I can't help it. Timbs are heavy. I'm just saying. It is what it is.
We do that for about 2 or 3 minutes in the morning. It's a very great tool. You know, you just start to do it about 2 or 3 in the morning. Just kind of zen out a little bit, or just kind of get your balance. Do the one on your left hand because your right leg is together. Just kind of zen out, hold your hands out, relax for a minute. And then the other one is very powerful, is using your hands. Putting your hands together. It's a union, balance within yourself, and then you just put it over your heart in the center here. And I actually have a medallion. It's a little sideboard that I use. It's kind of reminding because it's like a magnet quadrant, and I put it in there just kind of I can feel it. So when you move out of balance, you can feel it. You know. So you just inhale, exhale. You do about 2 or 3 minutes and calm. Your energy just naturally, everything kind of calms down like scooping a cup of water. And you do it on your private time, and that's another tool. That's it.
Okay, well, thank you to our crew members. Victoria, Merrick, we appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys so much. Pleasure.
Get back to work.
This is fun.
That was fun.